Hi everyone. So let's start the contest. Contest already start हो चुका है. Let's come over here. Register. Okay. Let's go. So let's take the first question. Okay. Let me paste it over here. Okay. So let's try to understand what our first question trying to say. Let's take a pen. Okay. Smallest pair with difference different frequencies. Okay. So you are given an integer array. Consider the pairs with the distinct values x comma y from nums such that x is less than y, x and y have different frequencies in nums. Among all such pairs, choose the pairs with the smallest possible x value of x. If the multiple pairs have same x, choose the one with the smallest possible value of y. Return an integer array x comma y. If no valid pair exists, return -1 comma y -1. Okay. The frequency of the value of x is the number of times it occurs in the array. Okay, so consider the pairs x comma y such that nums x is less than y and x and y are the different frequencies of nums. Okay, among such pairs, choose the pairs with the smallest possible value of x. Okay, so x choose करना है हमें जिसकी smallest value हो, right? X is the count of frequency. Okay, great. If multiple pairs with the same x, choose the one. What is x? X and y such that different number of frequencies. Okay, let's say let's take an example. This one. What is question trying to say? Let's understand that first. Let me take one more page. Okay, nums output is 1 comma 3. Let's say the smallest value is 1 with the frequency of 2. Okay, so यहाँ पे 1 की frequency है 2, 2 की frequency है 2, 3 की frequency है 1 and 4 की frequency है 1, right? Frequency 2 and the smallest value of greater than 1. Okay, smallest value is greater than 1 has different frequencies from 1 to 3 with the frequency 1. Thus the answer is 1 comma 3. Okay, so 1 की frequency है 1, 1 की frequency है 2, 2 की frequency है 2, 3 की frequency है 1 and 4 की frequency है 1. Condition है x should be less than y and x has minimum frequency. Okay, and if multiple pairs with y, choose minimum. Okay, and in this case choose minimum. ओके सो बेसिकली क्वेश्चन इज ट्राइंग टू से यहाँ पे 1 की फ्रीक्वेंसी है 2, 2 की भी फ्रीक्वेंसी 2 है, तो यहाँ पे फ्रीक्वेंसी तो सेम हो गई, तो x हमें वो चूज करना है जिसमें जिसकी वैल्यू मिनिमम हो. और यहाँ पे भी तुम लोग देख सकते हो 3 की भी फ्रीक्वेंसी 1 है और y 4 की भी फ्रीक्वेंसी 1 है, तो यहाँ पे भी हम लोगों को चूज करना है जिसमें number is minimum, right? And you have to return the output as x comma y. Okay, got it. Let me try to think once what is question trying to say exactly. Okay, you have to return array x comma y, x and how y different frequency in the nums. Okay, x की वैल्यू जो है y से छोटी होनी चाहिए and x should be such that x should be less than y and x and y have different frequencies. Okay, choose the pair with the smallest possible value of x. Okay, smallest value of x. Okay, got it. Smallest value of x. If the multiple pairs have same x, choose the one with the smallest possible value of y. I'm not getting what exactly question trying to say. Let's try to think with the next example. This is example number 2. We have 1 and 5. 1's frequency 1, 5's frequency is 1. Right, so x less than 5, y is possible. Both values have same frequency, so no valid pair exists written minus 1 comma minus 1. Still I'm not getting what we have to do. Let me check once its stream is started or not. Okay, stream is started. As usual, no one is in the stream. That's okay. Okay, let's think. Given an array of integer nouns, consider all the pairs such that x is less than y and x comma y has different frequencies in nouns. Okay, so frequency should be different. Right, so put all of them in the hash map. Okay, let me check the constraints over here. Definitely we can do the optimal one, but let's check the constraints over here first. Okay, so constraints are in the range of 100, so we can use n square as well, right? So yeah, approach is pretty much simple. I got it now. So what is our approach to solve the question? Approach is pretty much simple. Let's use the hash map. Okay, use the hash map, store all frequencies and try all pairs where x is less than y. Store it to the answer, and if you found multiple x, choose the minimum y, right? So that's the thing. Let me show you how we can do. Okay, so हम क्या कर सकते हैं ना, एक आंसर नाम का एरे क्रिएट कर लेंगे जो कि इनिशियली होगा 0 कॉमा, लेट्स से जो कि इनिशियली होगा -1 कॉमा -1. ओके, अब यहाँ पे एक मैप क्रिएट कर लेंगे और मैप के अंदर सभी की फ्रीक्वेंसी स्टोर कर लेंगे. ओके, एंड एक दो फॉर लूप लगाएंगे i इक्वल टू 1 to n. ओके, एंड अगेन j के लिए भी 1 to n लगाएंगे, लाइक i प्लस 1 to n लगाएंगे एंड चेक करेंगे ऑल x एंड y, राइट. अगर x लेस देन y हो जाता है तो यहाँ पे हम लोग आंसर में चेक कर लेंगे कि हमारा जो x है, राइट, तो हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, सॉर्ट कर लेंगे, एरे को सॉर्ट कर लेंगे, राइट. सॉर्ट द एरे एंड y को भी मिनिमम चूज कर लेंगे. अगर सॉर्ट होगा तो y भी मिनिमम ही आएगा, राइट. सो बस यही है अप्रोच. लेट्स ट्राई टू कोड दिस अप फास्ट. टाइम तो बहुत वेस्ट कर लिया हम लोगों ने इस क्वेश्चन पे, इतने टाइम का था भी नहीं है. ओके, लेट्स से int n इज इक्वल टू integer comma new hash map. Store all the elements, right. This should be great or default. This should be array. J plus plus C not equal to not forget arrow J and right. We haven't created answer yet, but we'll create it soon. So answer of 0 is equal to, let's simply return the element. Array of I, that would be our x, and array of j, that would be our y. Okay, simply returning the answer. Else return new int -1 comma -1. Okay, that's 1 comma 3 in first case. I'm getting correct. -1 comma -1, right? Yeah, -1 comma -1. I hope I saw this correct question correctly. Yeah, right. So question was easy. Let's try to understand its time complexity. Okay. So over here I'm using before and login for sorting and checking all the pairs, right? So that will be our big of n square and putting in the hash map that is big of n and space complexity also hash map that is big of n. So for the first question our time complexity will be big of n plus n log n plus n square, right? This will be our time complexity and space complexity will be big of n hash map, right? So let's come on to the next question. I guess next question would be easy. Okay, merge two closed chapters. Okay, let me make it this full screen. Is anybody come to our stream? No one. That's good. So let me take whole question in once. It's okay. So basically, what question is trying to say? Let's try to understand. Wait. Okay. Merge close characters. You have given a string s. Okay. You have given a string consisting lowercase English letters. Okay. This can be set lowercase letters and k दिया हुआ है integer. Okay. So given हम लोग clear है क्या क्या दिया हुआ है, right? Now two equal characters in current string s are considered closed, right? ch1 equal to ch2 अगर होता है तो ये close है, right? Okay. The distance between their indices is at most k, right? Considered the equal characters in current string as are considered closed if the distance between their indices is at most k, right? Okay, got it. जैसे ch1 है इक्वल टू ch2 है, तो इसका मान लो इंडेक्स i है, इसका इंडेक्स j है, तो j माइनस i जो है एट मोस्ट, राइट? सो लेस देन इक्वल टू k होना चाहिए। ये चीज क्लियर है, राइट? When two or more characters are closed, the right one merge into the left merges happen at one at the time. Okay, got it. So J वाला जो कैरेक्टर है वो राइट वाले कैरेक्टर में मर्ज हो जाएगा हमारा। got it. After each merge, the string updates until more merges are possible. Okay, got it. Return the resulting string after performing all the possible merges. Okay, okay, got it. Yeah, so basically we can use a hash map right over here. Let's take this an example. Okay, let's come on to the next page. What is example? Let me see. A, B, C, and A. So S is equal to A, B, C, and K is equal to 3. K is equal to 3, right? So हमें क्या करना है? हम लोग यहाँ पे एक हैश मैप यूज कर लेंगे, राइट? जिसके अंदर कैरेक्टर एंड उसका इंडेक्स स्टोर कर लेंगे। तो सबसे पहले ए पर आए तो ए एंड जीरो को स्टोर कर लेंगे, और यहाँ पे इंडेक्स स्टोर करते समय हम रिसेंट वाला इंडेक्स स्टोर करेंगे, ठीक है? एक स्ट्रिंग बिल्डर लेंगे एस बी। तो अब यहाँ पे ए तो ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट नहीं है, राइट? सो ए को ऐड कर लेंगे। अब बी पे आ जाएंगे। अब बी भी ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट नहीं है तो बी को भी ऐड कर लेंगे और बी का इंडेक्स वन यहाँ पे स्टोर कर देंगे, राइट? अब जहाँ जब हम सी पे आते हैं तो सी भी ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट नहीं है, राइट? तो सी को भी यहाँ पे स्ट्रिंग बिल्डर में ऐड कर लेंगे और इसका इंडेक्स मैप के अंदर अपडेट कर देंगे, राइट? अब जब हम लोग ए पे आ रहे हैं, राइट, यहाँ पे, तो यहाँ से चेक कर लेंगे कि ए ऑलरेडी अकर हो रहा है, राइट? सो ए अगर अकर हो रहा है तो ए का इंडेक्स हमारे पास पड़ा हुआ है, राइट? आई हमारे पास है और जे भी तो हमारे पास है। करंट इंडेक्स जो है वो हमारा जे है, राइट? सो हम यहाँ पे जे माइनस आई करके चेक कर लेंगे कि ये लेस देन इक्वल टू 3 आ रहा है। यस, इन दिस केस 0 minus 3, that is 3 minus 0, 0 1 2 3, right? So let me check once. इन्होंने ये रिमूव कर दिया, राइट? इक्वल टू 3 इज लेस देन इक्वल टू 3। ओ या, राइट? सो लेस देन इक्वल टू 3 है, राइट? सो हम लोग इसको इसमें मर्ज कर देंगे, राइट? सो बस मर्ज करना क्या है, इसको लेना नहीं है, बस स्किप कर दो और आगे बढ़ जाओ, राइट? सो आई होप यार ये चीज़ें क्लियर होगी। बेसिक है यार, हैश मैप यूज कर लिया हम लोगों ने, राइट? सो लेट्स ट्राई टू कोड दिस अप वेरी फास्ट। ओके, इसमें तो टाइम लगना ही नहीं चाहिए यार, इजी क्वेश्चन ही है। मैप ऑफ कैरेक्टर कॉमा इंटीजर okay. Let's take an n. This will be empty string initially. Let's take an index now. map.get or default ch comma -1. Our index -1 now and end j minus index is less than j is what? J is I, right? Is less than equal to k. So what we'll do? We'll do nothing. Else else we will be simply appending that current character to string. Okay, and in this case like we are skipping that, right? So map.put ch comma I, right? At last simply return sb dot to string. I hope this will be clear till now, right? Output is abc for second input, output is abca, right? Yeah, abca is the output for the second case, and for the third case ybzbz, ybzbz is the output, right? Okay, we are getting a wrong answer for the one case. YBYZBZ, right? YBY. Okay, one Z is missing, right? In our case, ZYBZ. Okay, so we are missing something, guys. Let's try to analyze what we are missing. We're starting from here. We took the character. We check for the for its index, right? So if we didn't found the index, so in that case we merge that character, right? Merge that character into the left one, so we don't need to change anything in the map. Okay, right now in the case of merging, yeah, that would be correct. And let me check one is coming to the stream or not. No one is coming, that's nice. Okay, sp dot append character. Okay, character we have appended, and we put its index to the map, right? Let's try to try run this one, but we are missing over here. Okay, so if we started with the y, let's take it now. Let's say if we started y, what is the string? Y y b y y y. Let's take the new page. Y y b y z y b z z y b and z, right? Y y b y z y b z. Okay, and k is equal to 2. K equal to 2, right? So we took y, we merge this. So in our map we have y at 0th index, right? We merge this, so our output string will have containing y. Now b is not coming again, so we add b. Now 0 1 2 3, 3 minus 0, that is 3, right? So we will be again appending y, and index of y is updated in the hash map, that will be 1, right? But in this case, let's say if we append the character, yeah, we are updating index, right? That's correct. Index is updated to 3, right? Index is updated to 3. Okay, so now we come to the z, right? So z should be appended over here, but in our case we are missing that z, right? Okay, how we are missing that z? Okay, this should be a minus 1, right? Yeah, this should be not equal to minus 1. And so अगर z इक्वल टू माइनस माइनस 1 हो जाता है तो सीधा मैथ में अपडेट कर दो, राइट? सो यहाँ पे z तो पुट होना ही चाहिए था। क्या मिस कर रहे हैं हम लोग? अच्छा, एक y मिस हो रहा है यहाँ पे। लेट मी चेक। अच्छा, इस वाले y का तो डिफरेंस ज़्यादा है, राइट? तो ये वाला तो स्किप होकर मर्ज हो जाएगा। ओके, ये वाला स्किप होकर मर्ज हो गया, राइट? अब इस z पे आते हैं। ये अगेन y कैसे आ गया? सो यहाँ पे ये डिस्टेंस तो लेस देन y नहीं है, राइट? लेस देन इक्वल टू 2 तो नहीं है, 0 माइनस 3। तो ये तो ये तो ऐड हो गया, राइट? ये वाला y जो कि हमारा भी ऐड हुआ है। In this case, why it is adding z? Okay, y b y. So it's considering this index, I guess. First, we merge this one with this. Okay, indexes are updated, right? If we merge the character, then we are coming this to this, right? This location, right? After merging first, the string will look like, right, this b y z y b and z, right? Okay, so we are updating indexes. So we are taking one int merge count equals to 0. Let's say if we merge count plus plus, and this should be I minus index will be telling last index and merge count, right? I hope this will look correct now. Y b z y. Let's say first merge will be increase, right? So indexing will be updated, right? Okay, so indexing will be updated, so we have to subtract this merge count from here also. Now I guess it will produce correct output. Let's see. YBZ, 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 YBZ. Yeah, that's producing correct output. Let's check for the case 2. output is ABCA, right? And for example one, output is ABC, right? Yeah, let's try to submit this up. Yeah, it's accepted, right? Wow, question is good, isn't it? अगर तुम लोगों ने हैशिंग हैशिंग ये टॉपिक अच्छे से करा होगा ना, राइट? हैशिंग ये टॉपिक अच्छे से करा होगा तो कॉन्टेक्स्ट के फर्स्ट दो क्वेश्चन है 1 और 2 तो आज के तुम लोगों से हो गए होंगे, राइट? मोस्टली हैशिंग टॉपिक पे ही हैं। यूज हैश मैप एंड डन। Okay, let's move on to the next question. Minimum operations to make parity alternating. Okay, I guess question is looking easy, but much more explanation like explanation is given, so we will understand it better. Okay, so let's try to understand this one is over here is only. Let me check anyone is coming to the stream. Yeah, no, it's okay then. Still, let me start that. So let's try to understand this one over here. Okay. So minimum operations to make array parity alternating. Okay, let's say you are given an integer array nums. Okay, let's take this screenshot now. Okay, we'll take example. Yeah, take example as well. Let's try to understand what this question is saying to us. Minimum operations to make array parity alternating. You are given an integer array nums. Okay, int array is given. Let's write the given first. Okay, an array is called parity alternating for every index I from 0 to I less than equal to n minus 1. Okay, and nums of I and nums of I plus 1 have different parity. One is even and other is odd. Okay, return an array, an integer array answer of length 2, answer of 0, minimum number of operations to require to make array parity alternating, answer of 0, that is this is what we have to output. So minimum operations to make array parity. Okay, this is what we have to return. And what is the answer of 1? Minimum possible values. Max of norms minus 1 is the minimum possible value of max of norms minus max of min of norms taken all arrays that are the parity alternating can be obtained by performing exactly 0 operations. Okay, all the arrays. Okay, got it. So task is to minimize the number of operations. And what operations we can perform that are in one operation you may choose an index I and either increase norms of I by 1 or decrease norms of by 1. Okay, it looks like mostly it looks like a graph question, like a binary search question, binary search on answer. Let's try to understand with an example. Let's take the screenshot of the example and let's try to understand. फीलिंग आ जानी चाहिए क्वेश्चन को देख के किस चीज़ से होगा. मेरे को तो बाइनरी सर्च लग रहा है, जो भी हो जाए बाइनरी सर्च ऑन द आंसर. लेट्स सी. सो नॉर्म्स यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है, राइट. -2, -3, 1 and 4. Output is 3, like output is 2, right? So minimum operations, increase norms of 2 by 1, right? So increased this by 1, so it will become 2. Increase norms of 3 by 1. Okay, this will be 3, right? So -2, -3, 2 and 3. The resulting array is alternating, parity alternating. The value of it is -3, 3 minus -3, right? Biggest element minus smallest element, using exactly two operations. What is the condition for parity? Um, Nums of I and nums of I plus 1 have different parity. That one is even and one is, the other one is odd, right? So -2 is even, -3 is odd, right? So that's correct. Now let's say 2 is even, like 1 is odd, but we need even, so we'll be incrementing by 1, right? And we'll be incrementing, like decrementing 4 by 1. So you have a +1, you have a -1. So let's try to attempt using binary search on answer. What we can do over here, we're seeing like how many minimum number of operations you have to do, that is 0, and maximum number of operations are, like if you start from the this cell. So let's say you converted this to the, like this is even, okay. So you are incrementing +1, right? Or here you can simply do the +1 operation as well, right? If this is 5, still this is valid, right? So total operations you need to perform are mostly, like minimum 0, right? The given is array is in the parity form, right? What is, we can say varied form, okay? We'll say it varied form. So we have to maximum perform n-1 operations, right? So in this case, our start will be n 0, and end will be like n-1. Okay. So over here we will find some mid and try to validate it. Will it work? Let's say you have this array, something like this, and if you perform some operations, like if you convert this array to valid form, then let's say some y operations, then you can convert it to the y plus 1 operations, y plus 2 operations, right? And y plus 3 up to n minus 1 operations, right? So you can see like this is firstly false, 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 and then true, 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 true pattern, right? So basically, we can say you can use binary search on answering on it, right? So let's take this one, move to the next slide. Okay, now we have to check just it is like check function, right? We have to write the check function only. So how we can check that we are able to like let me check time once every time to have like a and what wrong operations also I found. And otherwise we can start with the first element, check for the next. Right, we have to update this one, then come to this, come to this, come to this, come to this. So we can do this linearly. Is there any condition like only odd, right? So let's say we have this area minus 2, minus 3, 1, 4, minus 2, minus 3, 1 and 4, okay. So let's say if this is even and this is odd, right? So there will be only two possibilities now. Like either this is even or this will be odd. So which one of these will be giving minimum operations? Our answer yes or no? Let's say this is even, right? This is odd. Now this need to be even, and now this need to be odd, so we can increment one to it. Or let's say this is example 0, 2 and minus 2. 0, 2 and minus 2. So either this will be it is even, so this should be odds plus 1, and this is already even, right? Let's say this is odd, so we'll be incrementing 1. Like this is even, so implementing 1, this is already even, so this needs to be odd, right? So in first case we are requiring one operation, in second case we are required two operations. Wow, so this is not binary search question, right? Over here calculation of minimum moves is easy, right? You can calculate it in easy way. Like फर्स्ट इंडेक्स में क्या हो सकता है, या तो ऑड लेके चेक कर लो एक बार पूरा एरे, या तो इवन लेके एक बार चेक कर लो कि पूरा एरे क्या क्या आउटपुट दे रहा है, और इन दोनों में से जो भी मिनिमम है मूव्स वन, मूव्स टू, ये हो गया तुम्हारा आंसर। सो नाउ चेकिंग चेकिंग वाला पार्ट थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट है कि हमें +1 करना है या तो -1 करना है, राइट। चेक भी तो इजीली कर सकते हैं। लेट मी चेक यहाँ पे कंस्टेंट्स क्या है, डीपी लगेगी नहीं लगेगी, नहीं लगेगी, राइट। बिल्कुल एन में करना है। सो वी कैन डू लाइक हर एक इंडेक्स पे जाओ, वहाँ से मिनिमम उठाओ और मैक्सिमम उठाओ, राइट। सो ऑप्शंस क्या हो सकते हैं, हर एक इंडेक्स पे हो तुम, या तो यहाँ पे +1 कर लो, या तो -1, राइट। दो ही चीज़ें कर सकते हो। तो जैसे जिस केस में तुम्हारा मीन अपडेट हो रहा होगा, राइट, उस केस में तुम -1 कर लो। और जिस केस में तुम्हारा मैक्स अपडेट हो रहा है, उस केस में +1 कर लो। और जिस केस में दोनों अपडेट हो रहे हैं, उसमें से उस केस में तो कोई भी एक कर लो ना। सो क्वेश्चन तो बहुत ईजी था यार, बाइनरी सर्च का क्वेश्चन था ही नहीं। सो what is area? -2, -3, 1 and 4. -2, -3, 1 and 4, right? सो ओवर हियर लाइक आप लोगों का मीन है, यहाँ पे चेक कर लो ना। मीन मीन सबसे पहले तुम्हारा -2 आ गया, उसके बाद मीन अपडेट हो गया, चला गया -3 पे। एंड मैक्स भी तुम्हारा होगा -2 यहाँ पे। और इस केस में +1 करके देख लो, या तो -1 करके देख लो, कोई भी अपडेट नहीं हुआ। तो जो भी करना है छोड़ दो इसको, राइट। इस केस में तुम लोग लाइक ये तो अपडेट हो रहा है मैक्स, राइट। मैक्स इज अपडेटिंग, सो इसको +1 कर लो, 2, राइट। और इस केस में अगर तुम्हारा मैक्स फिर से अपडेट हो रहा है, तो हम लोग क्या करना है, मिनिमम ही लेना है। सो ट्राई करो कि तुम्हारा मैक्स अपडेट ही ना हो, लाइक मिनिमम डिफरेंस चाहिए ना, मिनिमम हो मैक्स माइनस मीन। सो ये कब होगा, जब तुम्हारा मिनिमम मिनिमम आएगा और मैक्सिमम तो तुम्हारा ये भी मिनिमम ही आएगा, राइट। सो ट्राई करना कि तुम लोग सब्सट्रैक्शन वाले ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म कर रहे हो, राइट। एडिशन तो करना ही नहीं है। वाह, सच इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन गाइस। लेट्स सॉल्व दिस वन। is if area of I mod 2 equal to 0 and then area of I minus 1 mod 2 not equal to 0, right? Or area of I mod 2 not equal to 0 and then area of I minus 1 mod 2 equal to 0. So in this case, both are different, right? So no need to update. It's need to update. This should be integer. So I mean one hell man. It's looking much more complex than whatever I am thinking. So firstly we will be trying to keeping this index name, and next time we will be trying to making this element like this index different, right? Actually when you need to do that as well now. Let's say we did minus 1 over here. So minimum that is minus 2 and maximum 1. चालू में होता खाली जाय. खाली जाय इकडं ओटी किचनमध्ये जाय. जाय ना खाली जाय ना मला काम येतं. ताण द्यायला नको म्हणलं होतं पण आलीच. जाऊ दे. Okay, changed both the things. Minus min 1, max 2 minus min 2. Mm, okay, method enough. Okay, C1 comma C2 comma this, right? अरे यार, तो मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशंस कहाँ से आ रही है वो भी तो चेक करना पड़ेगा. If C1 is less than C2, new int C1 comma max 1 minus min 1, else return new int C2 comma max 2 minus max 1, sorry, max 2 minus min 2. Right, let's declare the C1 C2 over here. P1, okay, this should be copy to over here, or this copy to C2 plus plus C1 plus plus. ओके, फर्स्ट केस में हमारा आउटपुट आ रहा है 2,1, जो कि गलत है. वाह, 0,1 is wrong, 1,0 is also wrong, 0,1 is also wrong, right? अगर दोनों का मॉड टू इक्वल है तो हम लोग कर रहे हैं लेट्स सी क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग। min वन मैक्स वन तो आ गया है, राइट। किस केस में हमें मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशंस चाहिए। या गॉट इट। We want to update the variable in each case, right? Mhm. I don't need to check for I minus one. Don't need to check for I. Initialize all of them to the array of 0. In second case 1 comma 3 is coming correct. Okay, we are very close now to our answer. We're getting a wrong output in first case. Okay, so minus 1 is over here. You can change anyone. You can change anyone over here, right? Now we are over here. Okay, so we have to take math absolute. So we are missing something still now. Like we updated I minus 1, right? We updated I minus 1. I'm not considering the last index, right? That is n minus 1, n minus 1. Okay, now we are getting much more closer. If C1 is less than C2, actually we are not considering the last operation in it, right? Here we don't need to update the last index, right? No steps required. Skip, skip. Right, over here we come. So we see like required something to do. So in one case, we decrement this, so it becomes 0. And in other case, it will do decrementing I minus 1 is never been an option, right? Leave it, man, I am stuck. We are very close, but like we are replacing I minus 1, right? But that's not the correct option because it will change the sequence before it, right? That's correct. So rather we should once try with the same array and once try with the copy of it. Minus 1, right? Hmm. Bullshit, man. Leave it. Let's see the leaderboard. We are again very close. Like we are updating max one, like mean one. Right over here. Hmm. So this should come as one. It's coming here. Okay, let's end the stream over here guys. कर ही लिया था ऑलमोस्ट एक बार चैट जीपीटी पे जाके चेक